Well, this got bad real fast, didn't it? I mean, I saw things were coming to a head. I think anyone watching the series could see that. It was slowly building up and rapidly was coming to that critical mass in the previous episode. And now, probably the worst that's ever happened to the Harmon family has just occurred. So to recap, we have Tate and Violet having their relationship move further on, getting more serious. We're learning more about Tate's history. Larry Harvey has discovered his mistake in killing and burying Hayden. Of course, we all knew that from a previous episode as well. Hayden has now gone total psycho, and she is in a tirade. She has come after Vivian because she wants her to know the truth about it herself and Ben. Ben is only a slight step above Larry Harvey as slime goes. Vivian is at her wit's end. We have not learned anything more about her baby yet, but we know something's wrong with that. Constance is mourning the death of Addie. She may even be getting a bit closer to Violet. Constance revealed that Tate is her son and that he can't handle bad news very well. And this is really playing into his character because it's clear that there is a big issue with him and it goes beyond just violence. There is something seriously wrong with him. It may be a multiple personality disorder. It could be something different. I don't know. What I do know is he is potentially very dangerous. But I'm still rooting for him because I'm rooting for him and Violet. She is the one thing that is probably the best about this series as characters go. And she's making Tate, I'd say she's making him better. A better character, the more they hang out and such. We're learning a bit about what happened in Tate's dream sequence that was revealed in the first episode. Apparently that wasn't a dream, and I'm guessing that Violet's going to find out more about this incident that those teenagers were talking about. I don't know what's going to happen with that. I don't know what's going to happen because I'm pretty sure eventually Tate is going to find out Addie is dead. God only knows what... Actually, other people would know what happens if that occurs. I'm pretty sure it's going to happen. I just don't know what's going to occur. I could find some forgiveness for Ben and some shred of... I could move on from the idea of him having an affair once, because it was a mistake. I did kind of wonder how long ago it was that he last had sex with Hayden, given the whole arc of her being pregnant. And then it was revealed he had a second affair with Hayden, after he was caught the first time. There's no redemption for this man as he is now. He has got to break open everything. He has got to let out every lie, every secret. He has got to come to terms with who he is and what is wrong with him. Otherwise, he's never going to stay with his family. He has already been kicked out of the house. The house is for sale. We've seen plenty of the spirits, and I have no idea where this is going now. I was always suspecting that in the end, all this would come to a head and there would be some kind of resolution. Either they'd be together or they break apart. But now we're at that point, and there's more stuff that's potentially going to happen. Potentially more of Tate's history is going to be revealed. Potentially relationships are going to get strained even further. There's probably going to be more investigations. I don't know where Larry Harvey is. I don't know what he's up to now. All I know is some really bad shit's going down. We still don't know about some of the spirits that are in the basement. The baby and that one fanged granny or whatever that was. This was probably the best episode I've seen since the second one. It's definitely up there, because it really brought so much to that critical point. And then it all just exploded. And at the end of the episode, we have the aftermath. It's not the fallout, it's the aftermath. What immediately happened after everything just came into the light, just broke apart, it shattered. We see the ghosts coming back to the house, which I'll give American Horror Story credit and its creators. That was a great scene, because you could see that they were tired, weary, even weathered by that one day. I don't know what more is going to happen with Hayden or the previous owners or Tate, but looking at how the characters were acting at the end of this, it looked like they were all just exhausted. They were mentally, maybe even physically exhausted. It's just trying to move forward at this point. And it could actually have some realism to that, because we're talking about actors and actresses. We're talking about actors, and I'm going to say actors, and that includes male and female. Because I get tired of saying actors and actresses, because normally when I talk, I say actor, and I mean male and female alike. But the actors look like they have... performers, if you will. Maybe. But everyone looked like they were just so beat after the end of this. And it's probably true, because it's exhausting to really be emotional, to be angry, to be sad, to go through that kind of emotional pain. And I don't know how many takes it took for them to get this episode together. It probably took several takes of them being angry, sad, scared, just again and again and again. And I think that shows through in the ending of this episode. This could have been a season finale all its own. Because it answered some questions, it left some questions open, and it brought everything to a climax, and now you're seeing it all trickle down and settle, and the fallout is still to come. We don't know what's going to happen with Ben. We don't know what's going to happen with Tate. We don't know what other secrets the house has and what it would reveal. But this was really good. This had a lot of energy to it, a lot of conflicts, a lot of things happened. We got to see characters at their worst. Some cases we've seen them at their best, but we've seen them at a very strong point. The performances were fantastic in this, and the overall story and plot, just, it was something else. We don't have much to go off of right now. We just know that, or at least I know, there's so much more left to come, and you can feel it. You don't even have to know that much about it. You could probably just watch this episode on its own, and you can feel that there's just something about to happen, even though things were winding down towards the end of the episode. It's all going to kick back up. This was one disaster. There's going to be another one. Wow. I think I will have to make a top 10 list of the episodes for this. There are 10 episodes at least, aren't there? I can at least put them in order. Let me check. 12 episodes. Yeah, I can make a top 12. Just put them in the order of how good they are. I'll decide that later, because right now I'm still making sense of it. I don't know that I'll make a video trying to explain the whole timeline of things that happened, because that is probably a mess all its own, but this is a very strong series. And it's actually hard for me to say it's a strong series, because each season is a different storyline, a different set of episodes explaining one story. But this season is very strong, and I can see why it's become so popular. So, let's see what happens from here. I'm expecting that the baby is either going to bring people together, or it's going to tear that entire place apart. I am wondering when it finally happens that everyone is tired of this shit and just tears apart that house. Nail by nail, or blows the fucking thing up out of the foundation. I've been thinking a few times about what it would be like if someone finally had enough and strategically put dynamite throughout the house, and the final episode has the explosion where it all just comes apart. It's glass and wood and smoke and fire, and in the end you have the remains of what used to be the house. You see holes in the ground and there are body parts there. Constance and her neighboring house is destroyed. She's dead from the blast. The daylight shines down on Hayden's body, Moira's body. The basement is revealed. The foundation is blown out of the earth and reveals the graves that were there. At the very end, the whole site becomes a memorial to the terrible things that had happened there, and the names of the victims, the bodies that were found that could be identified were put on there, and anyone that died from the blast was put on there. Unknown bodies are still being identified, but a lot of cold cases finally find their end. That's what I imagined for a ending to this. I don't think that's actually going to happen, but I am wondering if that was actually a satisfactory ending. I'm really curious where this will end. Based on the story I'm seeing here, that the actual murder house will not end in its story. It will continue on. There's no reason to believe it wouldn't unless the house was completely destroyed, and it's already survived a fire, so unless you Carmen Sandiego that shit and just pull the whole thing out of the ground, which would be a terrible ending, I might add, but it'd be funny to see. Okay, not if you're a hardcore fan, but I'd get a laugh out of it. I'm weird that way. So, see you in the next one. Have a great night.